all our items coming from the suppliers. And as you can see here on the crates, this is the area whereby after you process and put it on the system, the end user needs to come and sign for QC, which is quality inspection. So they are confirming the specifications that they need, what they had required. And then as we go here, some of them are also here. We also have a quality inspection area, and then we have things that are waiting to move. So for now, we don't have the small items which are waiting to move. So with winning, once the end user has confirmed the spec, that's when we hand over for winning, saying that it can go through our shelves now. It meets the specifications of the plant. If not, we reject the item and go to the supplier. The supplier can supply us with the specifications of the item.
How long have you been here?
I have been here for 9 months.
9 months.
9 months.
So you know the stories that go on here?
Yes, I read about them.
The negative ones.
Yes, there's a few that I've read about.
So you don't know them, you read about them?
Yes, I've read about it.
You don't know them?
What's your assessment of this place as a new person? Would you be satisfied, or rather with what you find, what improvements can be made? Because you've got a fresh set of eyes, eh?
Yes.
So your stories, there's losses here in the building.
Well, for now, I see that the proper controls have been implemented from the time that I got here. The proper controls have been implemented. There have been registers to check and track down whether the items have been received, where have they been received, when and by who. So all the measures which I've read about in the receiving procedure are being implemented. From my time here, I've seen that the controls are according to procedure, and I don't see any loopholes because I actually come from Kotley, and they were taught a lot, and I see that this side everything is being applied properly.
How will you know if you know because you're only here for 9 months?
Yes. Well, one thing about me, I go through the procedure and I read, and I make sure that I read to understand, and I'm not afraid of asking my seniors as to is this done correctly, as he has more experience in this field. And I also contact other supervisors from other stations just to seek advice, you know. And one thing I've learned also here is that they apply the procedure, and they also they go broader. You're not flexible to say with the procedure it requires a signature for delivery, but we also take in a permit for such controls to make sure that it is not fraudulent, and then the person that received the item and is signing for quality inspection will indeed take accountability at the later stage.
Thanks, Chair. Mr. Mpoe, you know for sure you have joined a company that is responsible for the load shedding that all South Africans are complaining about. What is your exact contribution? How are you? Do you want to contribute in making sure that the whole country moves out of load shedding?
Okay, from the store side, there's a huge contribution, but for myself in receiving and my team in our section, the main contribution we bring is that we need to make sure that the items which we're accepting here are indeed verified by the end users, because we cannot be accepting something that doesn't meet the specification only for it to go to wastage, and then we will not be able to work at the plant. So the priority here in receiving is to make sure that the spares that we receive meet the specifications of the plant. Then that's our main contribution is receiving, and ensuring that everything is received accordingly and in an appropriate manner.
Sorry, before we talk, this is the man who's acting stores manager.
Okay, how long have you been here, sir? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Yeah, I've been here since August last year. Before I was in procurement. Yes.
So now acting.
Yes. Right now, yes, since August. Yes.
Okay.
Just one question. Since you've been here for 9 months, how many incidents of substandard spares, theft, and losses have you encountered? We've just got a briefing for about 2 hours. I just want to hear from
From my side, I'm not sure of the number. The only one that I have heard allegedly and read about in the newspapers is
And I'm
seen.
No,
saying,
no, in your 9
since,
months,
yeah,
And then my 9 months, no, I have not experienced any.
so you've not received anything outside of spec that is not meeting the requirements of the spec.
Well, when it's received, the end user rejects it, and then we send it back to the
So
supplier.
I'm asking, so how many times have you rejected?
Yo, it happens a lot.
A lot.
Yes, it does happen a lot.
All right. So it's a supplier issue.
Yes.
Okay.
So the main important thing in that aspect is for us is to make sure that it is not exceptionally to the system.
Any supplier that is a serial offender, a repeat offender, who's continuously doing the wrong thing,
No,
it's across the spectrum.
Yeah, it's across the spectrum. I think it's a number of them. But as we get their names, then we send them for procurement so that they can deal with it appropriately. We were busy counting them, they were verifying the quantities. Because when they say in a box it's 20, we must open the box and see indeed in each box is 20. So
This is from when? Last week.
when did you open this one?
We open it when the delivery comes in. We open it.
Yeah, last week. It's been like that since last week. Today's Monday.
this one is
So
not
this one's
open.
not open. That's not open.
Well, what we do is that we confirm as you were saying, I was stating that we confirm the quantities in each box. So here, because you are able to see that it is closed, there are instances where we count and check in a box that's 20.
I get that. Last week you opened. So why is it not closed? Let me check. What happened on Saturday, Sunday?
Or usually
To be said, I'm asking. Just like a basic thing. If it's an ignorant question, tell me. No, it's part of the SOP.
well, because another thing we have a challenge with is that while we wait for the end user to QC, that's why it might be open at that time. Then it is taken for binning once it's accepted. Then once it is accepted, it is moved from the boxes and labeled with our standard stamp for the material.
And one other thing, because we've got full-time security in this area, so this area is always guarded.
Yeah, we've got very little confidence in your security. I'll tell you that. The losses you've experienced here, we've got no confidence until something substantive comes out. The losses have been high. Yeah.
But
So what I'm saying to you is that this box is open, unless, honestly, don't take, if you are wrong, say so, but the box is open, right? You received it last week. How many other examples of this are here in this space of things that are open, not closed, not sealed? Why don't you open, count and close, and then check the box, which that's the sample you use, which I don't know, but you might not open all the boxes. So the weekend you've left it, it's been like this and so on. So these are the small things, but the problem, they accumulate into billions for the state. And then it.
So what if something goes missing?
we have never experienced that during our time here. For items that are here in this area to keep missing. Because like I said, the introduction of security actually happened recently. It's not something that was there in the past. After experiencing those number of issues, stuff like also items that are not being accounted for. So we then requested the head of security to say, bring security here so that they can be here full time. Even when somebody comes here over the weekend to issue space, they walk with security all over the place. So they don't walk alone. So it's something that we introduced right now.
But Chair, we take note and
Yeah,
then
this
we
is
will
big
make
detail.
sure that we cannot have such
shall
things.
not, yeah.
Specifically standing over the weekend, we know they still.
Once we went to SAA, and it was all sorts of protocols for security, but engines were still going missing. Then a colleague said, "Hi, but an engine is big. It's a component there in the whole thing, right?" The corner, it was an easy peasy work on it. All I was just saying is that it might seem insignificant, but We can only hope it's not a microcosm of some bank.
Okay.
You want to know if we have stock or not, we go in and check it for you. You give us the stock number, then we check it for you. You stand outside the window. If you do come in, you get someone that will accompany you after you write in your details and why you're here. Yeah. The process of issuing basically means that we get a picking ticket stating what it is that you want, how many you want. Then we check it via our system to check if we can give you the quantity that you're looking for. Then we go to the floor and take whatever it is that you're asking for and bring it forward. You sign for it. We also take a copy of your permit so that in cases where people say we didn't give them or they are not sure who took them, then we can at least give them proof of this is the person that came and collected. That person that gives us the permit will be the person that will sign for it as well. Yeah.
How long have you been
With Eskom, generally since the 1st of November, but with
last year?
yes, last
Okay.
year,
Share
but
specifically.
over 2 years because I was a contractor.
On contract. Right. So, in your assessment, where can the improvements be made? Our part, you've got our protection.
The main thing that I'd say that we have an issue with right now is our stock level. Other than that, I think everything else will go perfectly well.
So you're
If-
satisfied with your processes?
I am.
So what do you say about the losses that have happened?
That's what I'm saying, that if we can get our stock level to be corrected, for instance, if the barcoding can be put in place and that items that come in can be like scanned in and when they go out so that we know which item it is that
Scan in, scan out.
sort of like
Like
that way like the system will at least balance with the flow. But right now the main issue that we have is that our physical and our system have a bit of a clash and we can't exactly pinpoint where the problem started, if that makes sense.
Do you have a platform created where you give review and how to improve the system to the management?
We do have meetings, is it second week? Every second week we do give feedback on saying maybe this is what I encountered during this week and so forth. Then every month we do cycle counts where everything in the warehouse is counted and the variances are done investigation on. Yes.
So have you made suggestions in relation to what you've just told us?
We did, and barcoding is one of those things that we are trying to implement. It is in process.
I wanted to introduce this man, Elvis. He's our senior manager who's tasked now, since I came in to recover stores and then also partly to focus generally at the stores and ensure that we recover stores in a proper fashion. He was previously the maintenance manager at Matimba and then moved over. So now he's tasked with that.
Yeah, I've been since 2021.
here.
Yeah. 22.
Brought him to this space when?
I brought him when we went there.
I've been
about, some week. 2 weeks.
What's your assessment?
Look, currently we are busy with the wall-to-wall counts, so that I have an appreciation of how the status is of the space that we have. Like she has indicated that if you look at our SEP or our system, you will realize that we seem to be having space, but when you go to wall, that's where we have deficits and surpluses. That's what we're working on.
Can I make one imaginative? There's a box there of discs outside. It's open. Right. It arrived last week. Today is Monday. QC must go there. It's still open. So it must move from receiving to storage to distribution. So the value chain of handles changed. But as I'm standing here with you now, it's open.
When the
Now
value
I'm
chain,
going to the issue of the risks involved. receiving, how does it need to be improved?
Look, we are busy now, like she has indicated, with regard to the faculty, which is key in us in understanding what is coming in, what is going out. But in as much as you are talking about the value chain, that value chain, it exists even here at stores. So stores we are receiving, where it is us who are still responsible in ensuring that whatever material that we get, it's accounted for, is booked into the system, and we're able to keep it safe until the maintainer comes and say they want that particular space. Yeah.
Conto.
Do you order
Chair.
produce or do you order
Conto.
No, Chair, I just wanted to say to Mr. Moyo, maybe this is the last man that he's introducing, that he has brought here. We want to see women, on a serious note. We want to see women because we have been introduced to women, to men. I've brought this one here is a man, I've brought this one here is a man. So we want to see women as we're moving from here.
Yeah.
Sonia.
I was asking whether are your orders based on use or in anticipation?
Yeah, look, before we order, there is what we call demand management. One, if the system demands based on what the end user wants, the end user will be a simple maintainer. If a maintainer put in a picking ticket saying, I need this type of a bearing and I need how many, that's where the process can start. We have the stock items where if a maintainer put in a picking ticket, it activates the system. If the need that is required by the end user is not enough, then we'll have a purchase requisition created to be able to deal or to address the requirement from the end user. So we replenish the spares or stock based on the quantities that are on the system.
You see, I'm checking it because you would know based on your analysis that the resilience of your infrastructure, the need in terms of time lapses and all that stuff, you need this sort of space. So you would acquire them, knowing very well that when it is required, it must be there. Because other things, load shedding, we're trying to find the part is going to be ordered from somewhere, from somewhere, you don't have it here. So how do you somewhat deal with such a system of demand?
What we call a space anomaly process. A space anomaly process is where we involve maintenance and engineering. They will be able to tell us, and we also do our own checks in as far as movements of those particular items is concerned. So we are able to tell this is a fast mover, and can you as the end user increase the min and max on this particular item so that it is always there whenever it is needed.
Also, please, I'm asking that question on the wrong side. On your side, how do you deal with these things?
With the demand management. Okay, in terms of where we sit, from my level, we have got production meetings, right? And then where we discuss the production of the day, of the week, and of the spares required. So one of the key fundamental thing is every time I get told there is no spares. Hence, Honorable Mkonto, there was a lady who was running the whole thing. She's off sick. But then she asked me personally that she doesn't want to run procurement in stores. Then I said, okay, it's fine. Let's get somebody who will focus on that. So on that demand management, we have got a whole register of stock. We have got strategic space. We have got critical space, which we are now managing to ensure that when it comes to strategic, we've got. When it comes to critical space, we've got. So that is the journey which he is tasked to look into. He has unveiled a lot of motors, which at one point in time, I think you sent us the pictures. And then I have also introduced the formula of going to the plant, identification, and then those things which are not here, which are stored somewhere, we are trying to move away from satellite stores. That is one biggest problem, which caused a lot of missing of spares.
So what's the frequency of your audits, no problem, of your Because last year, I had assumed your losses were about 120, but it's 144 million, right? So I would imagine we make a big emphasis on month-on-month, quarter-to-quarter reporting. So as things stand now, where are you with losses?
We wrote off what, 19 million for this financial year that ended now. And in terms of the controls, monthly, stores need to do the cycle count, and then finance do the independent counts. So that's a blended control that's supposed to ensure.
The three losses is 19 million.
Yes.
Quarter-to-quarter reporting. So we month-on-month reporting quarter-to-quarter. So we are now in June. So do you have a ballpark of April and May? Or you're not doing monthly?
We do monthly.
Right. So where are you with those losses?
We haven't identified any losses because we're currently still trying to retrofit the audit because we're still busy with the audits. Because end of April, we did another 80% count that resulted in that 80 million that we wrote off. So this month, we are going to do those independent cycle counts, and then we investigate them. If there's any adjustments there, that's when we're going to adjust.
The root cause of the losses. I would imagine that if you've identified them, you must also investigate. What's the root cause or the main drivers?
The root cause mainly would be non-adherence controls. Say maybe items would have been taken without a picking ticket, but we're addressing all that. Because through the investigations, that's what we found out. And it's something that we're working on to ensure that we fully comply. That we don't, because sometimes you'll find maybe at night, it's an emergency where we would issue and then they would do the picking ticket the following day. But that's part of the stock control where it allows that. So we've learned from the 80%.
These individuals who are not adhering, where are they? What consequence management follows?
What is happening now, we have introduced a standby roster for...
After you walk introduction, where are they? Yes, what you corrective measures, where are they?
Yeah, what I found out when I came here is that, as you can see, there are new people. There are some people whose cases are still running now. For example, the store's manager is not with us. Obviously, it's part of the people who were suspended for the same thing.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes,
yes. Those individuals,
yes.
Suspensions, dismissals.
Yes.
I'm not apportioning blame on the new ones.
Yes.
I'm saying
Yes.
the people who have resulted in the 144 million, the 19 million losses, is to use your words, non-adherence to due process and regulate. Where are they?
Yeah, on the list you will see that some of them are on that dismissal list. Obviously, we dismiss somebody, then they go to the CCMA, and then that is one of the cases I said we had issues with the support in terms of that. But yes, they are on the list.
Non-adherence or theft? I need to term it correctly. Is it non-adherence or is it theft? Because the question is then where are those parts? If it's non-adherence, then you must find them. You would know they were used. But it's just that there was no, or they are not there, which is then theft. Those categorizations are very important because if it's theft, then there's a market for it. SAPs, then there's a market for this. I think you get my logic.
No,
that your consequence management has to drive at a conclusion which helps. My mother was a nurse who used to say prevention is better than cure. So the preventative action steps can't be addressed with the wrong diagnosis.
I've alluded here that we are focusing on stopping all satellite stores because we have seen that people put it in there, and then it becomes an emergency item. Then they just say, I've got it on an urgent basis.
How many of these did you have, these satellite stores?
I've just addressed it quite recently. I don't know, you guys.
There is
long time.
There is the one we call Makomba. There were some spares that were lying there, which they been addressed.
How many satellite stores do you have? That should be basic information at the beginning.
But you guys, I asked you, Bill, I said, not settlers. But you must respond.
I don't know about any satellite stores that
What do you mean?
we used to have, but we closed the satellite stores, I think, years back, because we used to have one unit Coastal Cat, and then we closed. Yeah. Because that's where issues were.
So there's no satellite store now.
I'm not aware of any satellite store.
That doesn't answer my question. There's no satellite store right now.
No, right now we don't have any satellite
don't
store.
have.
We have closed them as per the instruction from the GM.
Where's it closed?
It's been ever since he's here. We went to collect all the materials and brought them into the warehouse.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Which one? Put it this way. Where did you collect? And how many of these outlets did you have? I'm trying to gauge the extent of the federal outlook of the management of things you had. Because it will lead to your losses.
Like I've indicated that, indicated that there were motors that were lying in other stores. So that was one specific area.
How many?
How many?
You went to collect to shut them down. How many did you have?
2.
You had 2.
Yeah.
So why is it so difficult to point to 2? Were they compliant?
I wouldn't say they were, because most of the spares that were there, some of them were old or spares that needs to be refurbished, that obviously they were sent there without following due process. And though that has been rectified, and that is the list that is referring to. When he said there were a lot of motors that were lying there, unaccounted for, we had to book them back to stores and send them to suppliers for refurbishment.
Where?
So were they also utilized as a leeway to steal, in a way, like a storage with an intention that because the main one will be focusing and it's emergency. After some time, you forget about them and then they steal them.
When we had it, that was not the thinking, obviously, but not to say that it might not be some of the people who might think that along those lines, but that wasn't the intent.
Yeah, I'm not buying the story about the 2 stores.
The satellite stores.
No, it's not buying it. You said something just doesn't add up. Who was receiving goods there? How was it processed?
This is how it used to work. You will receive an item here at the stores. It will be booked in, but because of one space, it will be sent to another
To one of the 2.
Yes, where it will be stored. But not to say that there must not be controls that will be managing that particular, because whoever needs that space won't go to that area because he wouldn't know if that space is there. Only at stores will we be aware that there is this space that is needed by the end user, and there it is. So it doesn't mean that it's a
But Chair, where it becomes a problem, because when I saw the issue of the satellite stores, because as a maintenance manager previously, satellite store is not where you go. Because somebody withdraws something here, doesn't use it in the plant, keeps it on a satellite store. That's where the discrepancy comes in. So from my experience, when I saw the conversation about, because we don't have space, let's store at a particular, then I said there shall be no satellite stores, because what the satellite store is talking about is something which they officialize within stores for that. But the satellite stores I'm talking about is wherever people withdraw, put it there, don't use it. Because I've seen it in certain cases where then they go there, and then that is the problem where it comes from. That's where these write-offs comes from.